All right, so I had a concert gig the other night for my buddy Align. He's a musician based here in Chicago, and it really got me thinking. I do a lot of shows, I do a lot of traveling for work, and all of it revolves around packing my camera. So I thought I'd tell you what's in my camera bag. It's this. It's literally just this. It doesn't necessarily make for the most compelling video now, does it? However, sometimes the best camera you have is the one you have available to you. That being said, this is actually what all goes into my camera bag. Now, before packing anything, the first question that I have to ask myself is, what camera bag am I gonna use? The answer is dependent on what the use is. Whether I'm traveling or it's a concert, something local to Chicago that, you know, I don't have to pack super heavy for, or if it is going halfway across the country, I know I'm gonna have to have a little bit more in my bag for a carry-on. That weighs into my decision pretty heavy. So for local shoots and shows, I've been using this backpack right here. This is the Jumper from Brevity. It's a great camera backpack, especially if you pack light. However, when I'm traveling, I don't use it. I've used it in the past and it's great, but it just doesn't have enough space for all that I need. For when I am traveling, I use this. This is a North Face Surge backpack. This is a few years old. I've had it for quite some time. It's actually held up pretty well. The only thing is it's not a camera backpack. With that being said, what I did get was an insert for this, and it comes from DB. Now this is the small insert from DB. It's great. I actually just picked it up, and what it is just what you would see in a normal camera bag, except it has all these pouches that you're able to put your camera gear in, put anything else in, and it slips right inside of my North Face bag, and it acts as a makeshift camera bag. And it's helped a ton with the small amount of time that I've had it. It's made a huge difference. Now we're gonna move on to the good stuff, the stuff you're here for. As you saw earlier, I had the Sony a7 IV with the Sigma 24 to 70mm f2.8. This has been my workhorse for the better part of 2 years now. The Sony a7 IV was something that I just picked up, and the Sigma lens is something that I've had on my camera since I used to run with the a7 III. The 24 to 70 to me is probably my favorite lens just because of its variable zoom that you're able to not only capture a lot of wide things when I'm at concerts, it does fill the gap to some degree when it comes to wide shots. You can never replace a fisheye, but this comes pretty close to matching half of what a 16 to 35 would be. Now on the opposite end, the 70mm, you get that compression that you're always looking for in that 50 to 85 range, even as you start to get into a telephoto. But this is just the best all-around lens for what I like to do, and it's never really left my camera since. The a7 IV is a great camera for people who do both photo and video. For concerts, that's what I do. It just depends on what I'm hired for. But professionally at Ghost, what I use this for is strictly photography. For a lot of concerts, what I end up doing is taking 2 camera bodies and maybe 2 other lenses. It really just depends on the venue, what the gig is, all that kind of stuff. So my backup setup usually looks like this. For starters, what I'll have is a second a7 IV, just makes things easier. I have all my settings dialed in for that. So the other part of that is 1 or 2 lenses, depends on the venue, really depends on what I'm trying to get out of it. So it's either this is the Sony 16 to 35 f2.8 G Master Mark I. The other one I don't have here today, but is the Sony 70 to 200 f2.8. It is great, I love it. It's a telephoto that really just gets so much compression that will be great for front of house, or if you're looking to get a lot of detail shots of a singer or a performer from the pit. When you have all 3 of these lenses, you really have everything covered. So that is a big part of my camera loadout for concerts. After the cameras, what we have is the beast. This is the workhorse. This is what allows me to get all the posts done. There's the M2 MacBook Pro. It is 16-inch, 32 unified, and a terabyte of storage. If I didn't have this thing, I would just be editing on a dinosaur. Even though the M3 just came out, this is still gonna hold true. I haven't really run into any issues in terms of speed or anything like that. It is a workhorse in every sense of the word, and I have put it through the ringer, whether it be on the road, at a show, anything like that. This is what's always come in my bag, because a lot of time after shows, what I am doing is sitting in the green room, editing photos to get those out to the artist right afterwards. And my editing setup wouldn't be complete if I didn't have my SSDs. This is the Samsung T7 SSD. It is 2 terabytes, and if you're not using this, you're probably bogging down your computer's memory. Editing off of external drives is something that anyone who's working with large files should do. It allows you to edit from and store your files locally so they're not bogging down your computer with a bunch of memory. So now that we've talked about a lot of the bigger stuff, let's get into the smaller stuff that can really help separate your game. So the first thing, for anyone shooting video, you are gonna need one of these. It's a variable ND filter. This one's from K&F Concepts. It's a little bit cheaper than some of the ones you might find. I've used the Peter McKinnon ones in the past, and they are great. This was just a quick and dirty one that I found that was actually on sale. So hard to beat low prices sometimes. And I've seen nothing bad with the video quality on this. So after that, we have the mic. This is the Sony ECM B10. It is a great shotgun mic. It sits right on top of the camera, and the good news is for all those Sony users, you don't have to plug this in, so you won't have any cords running about on the side of your camera. The next thing is very important because you can't shoot anything without it, and that would be SD cards. Now, I have quite a few that I put into this case. Obviously, it's just a little bit safer this way. Now, while I have picked up a few different kinds of SD cards in my day, this is one that I use all the time. This is the SanDisk Extreme Pro. I haven't really had any issues with these in the past. Again, there are a bunch of different SD cards on the market. The big things you're gonna wanna look for when it comes to SD cards are the speed that it writes at and the amount of memory that it has. Up next, we have the lifeline of your camera. This is gonna be extra batteries. Never wanna be on set and run out of juice for the camera. Trust me, I've had it happen before and it is the worst thing possible. So I always keep anywhere from 2 to 5 batteries in my bag. It really just depends on what I'm doing. Those festival days, those long concerts, they can run through your camera pretty quick, especially if you're shooting 4K. So I've got a few other little things that I keep in my camera bag and they are not to be overlooked. First of which, earplugs. If you're a concert videographer, photographer, you need to have these in your bag. No one wants to have their ears ringing by the time they're, 25, 30, whatever it is. Next thing, everyone should have this in their bag. It is gum. I don't care what it is, but no one should have that hot ass breath because you don't want it and other people don't want to talk to you if you have it. So just take gum with you. It's not hard. If you're changing lenses, one other thing that you're gonna wanna have in your bag is a blower. This thing is just gonna clean the dust off your sensor, clean the dust off the inside part of your lens. And trust me, you do not want your sensor to get dust on it. It's just a giant pain in the ass. As I said in the beginning, there are a lot of different factors that go into how I decide what camera bag to take and what my setup should look like. Some other things that I do keep in my camera bag are portable chargers, all the cords for charging for my cameras, batteries, MacBook, everything. One of the other things that I do take with me is this GoPro Hero 12 Black. I just picked this up and it's been great. I use it a lot more for skiing and I use it sometimes for BTS, but I use it mostly for when I'm going out and I don't want my Sony to get trashed. And it just helps get angles that I can't when I'm shooting ski content and anything else that requires, some level of risk. Now, if you enjoyed this video, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss another one. Hit that like button and comment anything that you want to see from my channel in the future, or if there's some things that you have questions on for how I travel, what all I pack, and why I choose some of the things that I do. So with that being said, I'm gonna go chill on the couch, edit some video, edit some photo, not go outside because it is -10 out right now in Chicago and that sounds miserable. So until next time, I'm Dan Ways. If you enjoyed this content, stick around. There's gonna be more coming in 2024. Can't wait to see what's next. Peace.